I wonder if the vote waster crowd in this country thinks the people in the 19th century who wasted their vote supporting the anti-slavery party, was that a wasted vote? No. Who wasted their vote supporting the small women's right to vote party, was that a wasted vote? No. You think they sat around saying, well, I wonder who's least worse on women's right to vote and slavery, the Whigs or the Democrats? Let's really talk about that. Aren't we glad that there were courageous people in those years who voted their conscience, who brought their conscience to the polls? We've got to argue this out with thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. We've got to really converse more and more with people. Someone said to you, Nader cost Gore the election in 2002. And when they say that, they walk away, so you only have 3 seconds. Ask yourself, how would you use those 3 seconds? Of course, obviously, I've confronted people like that, and none of them ever want a dialogue. One just this morning in front of the West End Library branch in D.C., we're having a rally because the D.C. City Council gave away the library, police station, fire station to a developer to rebuild and rip off the district. Imagine, with no hearings. They gave away the public trust, the public interest, and the public property. So this guy is coming around going in the library and said, you elected George Bush. I said, I thought Gore won. He was gone. He comes back out. You elected George Bush. But Gore got more votes. Bush stole the election. Gore recognizes that. He's gone. You see, that's a sign of political bigotry. That's a sign that they got the ideology down. And they're not all bad people. They're people who you've got to get in dialogue. I was told by more than a few people who had that view of 2000 that when they saw an unreasonable man, it actually changed their mind. Now, the other day, there was an article, a McClatchy article, quoted Professor Larry Sabato, University of Virginia, political scientist, the most quoted political scientist in the mass media. And he said, it's absolutely clear Nader cost Gore the election. You see how deep this goes? This is 3rd grade analysis, maybe 2nd grade. For example, I would say, Larry, you went to Princeton the way I did. Hey, Larry, let me ask you, would Gore become president if he got Tennessee, everything else being equal? Would he become president if he got Arkansas, everything else equal? Would he become president if 250,000 Democrats didn't switch and vote for Bush in Florida? Yes. Would he become president if David McReynolds hadn't run on the Socialist Workers' Party? David's lucky, he's escaped all this. Would he become president if Kathleen Harris, Jeb Bush didn't conspire before, during, and after the election to steal the election from Al Gore? Would he become president if the mayor, the Democratic mayor of Miami, didn't skip town and go to Madrid for 11 days before the election and not turn out his votes because he had a tiff with the local Democrat? Now, Larry, why are you only picking one what if? Why are you picking on the Greens? Because you don't want your precious Democrats to be challenged. You don't want a competitive election. You don't want a competitive democracy, except between the two parties that are becoming more and more alike, where the similarities tower over the dwindling real differences that the two parties are willing to really fight over. And then, and apart from all that, as Professor Solon Simmons of George Mason University has pointed out, you should get his material. It's still on the website, votenader.org, for that purpose. He said that the dynamics between an election are such that by pushing Gore, in spite of Lieberman's advice, to make him more populist, acceptance speech. He went up in the polls when he started going after, rhetorically at least, the insurance companies, oil companies, drug companies. There were people who were so freaked out by the Greens, they weren't going to vote for the Democrats. They rushed out at the last minute to vote for the Democrat. What are we doing with this nonsense spoiler business? We're either all spoilers of one another, trying to get votes from one another in a competitive election, or none of us are spoilers. That is a bigoted word.